بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. في chapter 4 الشابتر السابق كنا نحكي على الكاش فلو ستيتمنت وحكينا على الريشوز وهاو وي انالايز ريشوز. لو رجعنا شوي ل chapter 3 كنا نحكي عن financial statements which includes the balance sheet, income statement and cash flow statement. اليوم حنحكي بchapter 5 اللي هو the time value of money. The time value of money is important to evaluate the cash flow. Okay, so the main focus on this chapter will be on the time value of money. My question is to you now, which you prefer? To get $1 today, this is the question, or to get the $1 after 1 year?
Today.
So, today, all of us, we need the $1 today, or other students prefer after or 1 year? So, most of us. Or not most of us, all of us. So now, all of us prefer the $1 today rather $1 a year. So the question is why? Let's simplify the question. If your dad say to you, okay, I will give you $1,000. You have two options: to take the $1,000 today, or to take it 1 year. So again, the answer will be $1,000 today. Now, why you say today? Okay, see here.
Because the value of money will decrease after 1 year.
So you will tell your dad because of the money value is decreased. Your dad may or may not understand you. So try to convince him why you prefer to take the $1,000 today. Yes. Very simple.
Economic change.
Sorry?
Economic change.
Economic change. So,
Prices fluctuate.
so what the
purchasing power for $1 today will be more than after a
the
while.
more than or less than?
Less than.
Okay. So this is a very economical answer. Try to simplify things to tell me why you prefer, in very simple way, why you prefer $1,000 today rather in 1 year. Sorry? Yes, you are right. This is fine. You can tell your dad, yes, $1,000. Give me the $1,000 today, so then I will invest. So at the end of the year, it will be more than 1,000. In this way, you can convince your dad by giving you the $1,000. If you tell him, okay, 1,000 economic purchasing power, and your dad is mechanical engineering, he may not understand you. Yes? So the first thing, if you take the $1,000 today, so then you will invest it by more than $1,000. So this is the first thing. This is the first reason you take off the $1,000 today rather to take it after 1 year. So what is the second reason? Yes, try to guess. Very simple answers. This is why the foundation of the time value of money.
For example, if I want to buy things, now when I buy with 1,000,
Raise your voice.
with 1,000, I will buy more stuff than
Today, yes, because the purchasing power, as she said. So now you can buy more stuff than tomorrow or than after 1 year. So here, 1,000, in terms of buying products, you can buy this product today, but in the future you can buy this product. This is like the impact of inflation. So the purchasing power of the $1,000 is keep diminishing in the future. So you tell your dad, today I can buy this stuff, but after 1 year I can this stuff. So this is the sample. Now the third reason.
When we are talking about the exchange currency,
Yeah, now $1,000 is $1,000.
No, I want to change it to another currency. Maybe they will be more.
Risk, yes, it could be. What other things? So, okay. So, your dad agreed to give you $1,000 today. But you are not guaranteed that your dad, he give you the $1,000 after 1 year. So, one bed in your hand, see, is much preferable to take 10 beds after 10 years because you don't know, maybe the beds are not on the tree. See? This is the things. So the important of things, just to try to go to the very simple things. Why we prefer $1 today? Because I guarantee to take this $1 today, but I don't know whether I will get the $1 after 1 year because the money not goes on the trees. ولا لا؟ المصاري مش موجودين على الشجرة. The money must goes on the trees. So the money has no fly, so you can catch them from anywhere. It costs you to generate the money. So suggesting $1,000 today is much better suggesting the $1,000 after, because what in the economic literature or financial literature they say default risk. Default risk, it means you are not sure you will get your money back in the future. This is the idea of time value of money, and this is why people, they think the value of $1,000 today is greater than the value of $1,000 after 1 year, because of the reasons that you mentioned. Okay? In light of this understanding, we will focus on these learning objectives. The first one, using timelines. How to use the timelines. These timelines explain the cash flow streams when you will receive the cash. So this is known as starting by 0, 1, 2, 3, and alpha. So how much you will receive in each year or every day or every month, it depends on the time scale. The second, compounding and the future value. So if you have $1 today, how much equal in after 5 years, for instance? So we'll talk about the future value of money, and we will talk about the compounding rates. In light of talking about the compounding rates, we have to differ between the compounding rates and the simple interest. The third one, discounting and the present value. So, for instance, if you are receiving $5 or $1 after 5 years, how much it is now in the present value? And making interest rates comparable. So, how much the interest rate pay in the year? How much it equal if we duplicate this is in the second year and in the third year? So this is, or these are the learning objectives. So in light of the cash flow timelines, as we explained, we will use the 3 techniques for solving time value. The first one, we will use the mathematical solution. The second one, we'll use the scientific calculator, and the third one using Excel sheet. For the first two, the mathematical and scientific calculator, please bring your scientific calculator to use it during the classes. And regarding the spreadsheets or Excel, I think we have a separate course in financial analysis. So it is an introduction on using the Excel sheets and using the time value of money, or the concept of time value of money. So we will focus on the first 2 techniques. The first one is the mathematical, the second is the scientific calculator. And regarding the third, we have already a separate course dealing with these issues. The second, understand compounding and calculate the future value of cash flow using mathematical formulas, a financial calculator, and Excel sheet as well. But for the first two, it's fine. So bring your calculator with you. Number 3, understand discounting and calculate the present value, as I explained here. The 4th, understand how interests are quoted in the financial market or in the bank, within the banks. The principles used in this chapter, money has a time value. And we explain what exactly the reasons behind this. The concept of time value of money, $1 received today, other things being the same, is worth more than $1 received a year from now, which is related to the assumptions that we discussed. Underlies many financial decisions faced in business. So this concept influences the financial decisions. For instance, if one guy is saying to you, okay, you prefer to receive $1,000 today or to receive $950 after 2 years. So it is financial decision. Or you prefer to take $1,000 today or to invest in a machine generating these cash flows. That's it. Or to spend $1,000 in a product or in a factory generating this streamline of the cash flow. So it's not just comparing the payments, it's just try to apply the concept of time value of money on the field of investment decision. Using the first one, using the timelines to visualize the cash flows. Sometimes it is hard to understand the cash flows without conceptualize or visualize the cash flows timelines. Okay, in particular, in some cases, in cash flow streamlines. Using timelines to visualize. Timeline, as I explained, defines the timing and amount of stream of cash flows along with the interest rates. So, for instance, this is known the timeline. Starting from 0, this is the first period of time, this is the second, the third, the fourth, and this is the fifth. So, the time or the streamline shows cash in and cash out, or the inflows or the outflows. For instance, in this year, it's minus $1,000. This is 200, and this is 800. For instance, this is 400, and this is 600, and this is 300. So, what is in this timeline? We have $1,000 as outflow, and we have inflow here, we have inflow here, and we have outflow, inflow, and inflow. So the cash flow is for 5 years, starting from the 0. The first day of the investments, this is 1, is the end of the year 1. This is 2, the end of the year 2. This is 3, the end of year 3, 4, and 5. So I is the interest rate. For instance, it is 7%. So now we have cash flows from 0 to 5, and we have the I is the interest rate. Okay? As you see in this example here, we have starting from 0 to 4. It means 4 years or 4 period of times. Could be years, could be days, could be months. It depends. Could be quarters. So starting by 0, the first day of starting our investment, by $100. So it means we invest, its cash outflow is $100. Cash inflow is 30, 20. Cash outflow minus 10, and the inflow is $50. The interest rate is 10%. Let's see this checkpoint. Suppose you lend a friend $10,000 today, so it's today from 0, to help him finance a new Jimmy John's sub-shop franchise, and in return, he promised to give you 12 hundreds and 150 at the end of the 4th year. How can one represent this as a timeline. So how we can convert this into timeline? Yeah, please help me to do this. Okay, how we can do this? Draw the timeline.
present value تكون 10,000.
Okay, so suppose you lend a friend $10,000 today, help him. Okay, so today is $10,000. So it is minus or minus? It's outflow. Okay. Franchise, and in return he promises to give you 1,200s or 12,155 at the end of the 4th year. So after 4 years, so you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, and you have 4. 1, 2. After at the end of the 4th year.
Yeah.
So you have here.
Interest is 5%.
Is it right? You will receive 12,155
Interest will
as inflow. At the end of the 4th year, how can one represent this as a timeline? Note that the interest is 5%. So I is 5%. And you will see here, this is the timeline, and this is how we represent the timeline. $10,000, and we have 12,155. That's all. Just to train you how to visualize things. And this is the second one. Draw a timeline for investment. For an investment of $40,000 today that retains nothing in 1 year, $20,000 at the end of year 2, nothing in year 3, and $40,000 at the end of year 4. So we'll try to draw the timeline.
4 years.
For 4 years. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So draw a time for investment. If we say investment, so the cash out of flow. So $40,000 out of flow. Today, that retains nothing in 1 year, so nothing is 0. 20,000 at the end of year 2, 20,000. Nothing in year 3, and 40,000 at the end of year 4. 40,000. This is the timeline then. Okay? And this is the answer. Okay? So now you understand what it means, the timeline of cash flow. But sometimes the questions not as simple as you think. Because sorry? Because sometimes, okay, for instance, if this amount of money is threefold for the couple of years for 6 times. Okay, so threefold, 6 times, how we can figure out this. So we will train you how to figure out these things. Or the amount of money will be doubled in the 2nd year and will be tripled in the 4th year and so on. It's like playing in the timelines. Now, compounding and future value. Any question? Yes. So, no question. No question now. Okay, so let's move to the compounding and the future value. What is the difference between simple interest and compound interest? You know what is the difference between them? Yes, what is the difference?
The interest, the simple interest, the interest will be only on the principal.
And the principal, okay.
The compound with the principal amount and the interest.
Okay, so in other words, you are right. In other words, just explain to your dad what it means, compound and the simple interest. Just to try to simplify things. You are right from the academic position. So if a lady coming to you and she want to invest her money, okay, listen, ma'am, this is the $10,000. You can do it a simple interest rate or the compound. What do you prefer? Okay, tell me what is the interest, simple, and what is the compound. Okay, the compound is, is like we can calculate this by doing this formula and this. Okay, so she may not understand. What?
Simple interest means we take it for the whole amount at the specific period.
Okay, the same of compound.
Compound.
Yes.
So you take it segment the amount with its interest and take it from period to period.
Okay, from period to period, and this is for the whole amount. Okay, just try the same thing, like what you said, but put it in different ways. Just to simplify it for the lady, this is the simple and this is the compound.
يعني مثلا لو أنا معايا $1000
Yes.
عليها شو اسمه 5% interest.
Interest, yes.
بتكون السمبل انترست هي عليها $50 لكل شهر، يعني مثلا بعد الشهر الأول صارت $150.
Why this? Why this? You are right, but why? What is the things behind the symbol? There is assumption. Why they do this? Is this symbol is applicable and this is not applicable? When we apply the symbol and when we apply this, just explain to the lady. This is this. Sorry, just for 1 year. Compound for more than 1 year. Okay, do it again. Okay, so the idea behind the symbol interest is like this. Listen, this is the $100. You make $50. You can take the $50 and then carry on in investment your $100 for the next year. And in the second year, you take off the $50 again and do it. So she took off all of the interest payment to herself. And then she reinvests only the $100. Because in the bank, it is unfair to keep 105 if $100 plus the interest is 5%, $105. So the bank will reinvest the $105. So it is unfair from the bank from the bank perspective to invest just only the $100 and keep the $5 away. So the idea of the symbol interest, you tell the lady, this is the $100, you invest it for 5 years, fine. At the end of year, you will take $5. The $5 is the interest payment, and leave the $100 in the bank. Then the second year, you will take another $5, and in the third year, you take the $5, and so on. But in the case of the compounding rate, listen, ma'am, the $100, leave them in the bank, then it will be compounded. It means you invest $100, you will get 105, then you will invest the 105 till the second year, then you will get 110 plus, and you will reinvest and so on. So it's different. Okay, so this is the idea of the simple interest or the symbol interest and the compound, because the assumptions are different. The assumptions are different. In the first one, the assumption not to reinvest the interest. But the assumption of the second, of the compounded rate, is to reinvest the interest payment. But if I told you this, I didn't ask you to think this is future, this is symbol or this is compound. I give you some information. The lady is coming to you and she asking to take the interest. So what do you think? Is this compound or is this? It is symbol. Because she took off the interest because she wants to spend the money, and she don't like to leave the interest payment in the bank. Okay? So this is the main differences between the symbol interest and the compound interest. So from the academia is saying like this: interest is earned only on the principal amount, which is fine. Compound interest is earned on both the principal and accumulated interest. But in the first, the lady is take off the interest payment, and she left the principal. This is why we calculated the interest based on the principal. But here, the lady is left both the interest and the origin amount of money or the principal. So it is, from the bank perspective, it is fair to calculate the interest based on the both the interest payments or the origins of payments and the interest. Okay, high question? Yes? No? Okay. Let's see this example here, example 5.1. Suppose that you deposited $500 in your investments or in your saving account that earns 5% annual interest. How much will you have in your account after 2 years using a simple interest? Okay. So let's use this time. So $500 for 2 years. Is it right? So you will invest $500 for 2 years. Let's see the simple interest and compound interest. And the I is 5%. Let's apply the same understanding. So $500, so we will invest them in the first year by 5%. So we will get $25. We will take off the $5 and leave the 500 and reinvest them again. So this is $25. We invest them. We have the 500 still in the bank plus $25. We will get them here, and another $25 we will get them. So we will times by 2. So we have $550. Okay, this is simple because we get the $500 in here. If I ask you in the first year how much you're saving, your saving is $525. Now, when you reinvest them, you took 25, then you left 500 and carry on, you get 525. So at the end of the day, you have 525 and the 25 in the previous year, so you have $550. Okay? Very simple. Or if you don't understand, tell me. Okay, this is based on the simple interest. Based on the compound interest, it has different assumptions. Because here, we make 525, but we took the 25 and we left the 500 to invest in the second year. But in the second one, no. You will do like this. So $500, this is the first year and this is the second year. You make 525. So 500 times 5%. You get 525. Now, 525, you will invest them to the second year without taking off the $25. So 525 times 5%. So you will get 500.
26.
Are you sure? Okay, just time. Do it. 5 to 5 times 1.05. So how much?
26.25.
The whole amount. So here is the 26. The whole amount, how much? Yeah, 551.25. So this is the amount. Okay, let's go to see the answers. Oops, 550 for the sample. Okay, be careful. And 551 for the compound because it has different assumptions.
Why you multiply with the 8%?
with 5%. Where is the 8%? Where is it? 5%. Okay, so as you see here, interest in the first year is $525. You have $25 plus the $500. Okay, you have 525 times 5%, you get $26 is the end of the investment. So principal plus interest earned, so 500 plus 25, 26, you have this. But I think in this way is more, you can visualize the answers than this way. Okay? This is how the British think, and this is how Americans think. But at the end of the day, you have this way. This is a good news. Did you read the business news last year? Or yesterday? No? Nobody interested in the business news? No time. It just take about 10 minutes to know what is going on. The UK now is the largest, the fastest, or the second fastest economy in terms of growth. Yes, the UK. And the EU is a growth by minus 0.5. So it's fine to look at the how the investments, because this is related to the future value of the business. And it was a report around the Middle East, the business report about the Middle East, and it's very, very interesting. So to know what is going in this village. Okay. Okay. Any question here? No. Yes. At the end, no question. Okay. Let's move to the present value and the future value. Time value of money calculations involve present value, what a cash flow would be worth to you today. So the present value, it's what is the cash value? The value of the cash is today. And future, what is the cash value for the future? Okay? So we have two terms, future value and we have present value. The present value, how it's worth the cash value today, which is today. And this is the future value of tomorrow, for instance. Okay? So in terms of equations, so we have future value is equal to present value times 1 plus I power n, or some people they call this t. Okay, so you can use n or you can use t. N is the number of times, t is the time. So just using different terms. If you want to calculate the present value, then the present value is the future value divided by 1 plus I power n. Okay? Okay, so this, in example 5.1, in example 5.1, present value is $500 and the future value is $551. Let's go back to the example 5.1. We put $500, we get $551.25. So this is the present value and this is the future value. So the future value is present value 1 plus I. As I explained here, the future value is the present value times 1 plus I. I is interest, power n is the number of years or the number of times. So sometimes we may not use years. We can use any period of time. Could be quarter, could be day, could be months, could be semi-annual, and it depends. So the future value is equal the present value times 1 plus I. Just multiply this for 2 years. 500 times 1 or 5 power 2. Just answering the question by using equations. Okay, future value. Continue example 5.1, where you deposited $500 in saving accounts earning 5% annual interest. Show the amount of interest earned for the first 5 years and the value of your saving at the end of 5 years. Instead of invest the future value into 2 years, we will invest it into 5 years. So how we can do this? Just apply the example 5.1. Instead of using 2 years, using 5 years. So the future value, do it again. Present value, 1 plus I power n. So it's $500, 1 plus 5% time of 5. So you get 638.15. 14. So it means the 500s makes 138.14 as an interest. This is as interest. Then altogether is 638.14. What can get benefit from this? When we invest the 500s, we make 51.25. Altogether are 551.25. So we can explain the power of time. The amount is fixed in both examples. The interest rate is fixed in the 2 examples, but the time is different. We invest in 2 years and we invest here in 5 years. So we can explain the power of time. So just remember the power of time. The power of time. The time has a power. Because this is from the money value. But from the time value itself, if you think in different ways, the time itself, now it's worth more than the time tomorrow. Because you can do things today in a proper way, but you don't know about the future because it is uncertain. So this is the power of time. And the power of time reflects itself on the money. So invest 2 years is not as same as invest in 5 years. It's different. And if you look at the timetable here, after 2 years you have 551. After 3 years you have this. After 5 years, you have 638. It means the more you invest, the more time you invest your money, the more payments or the more future value of your investments. Okay? And this is the meaning of the power of time. The time has a power. And this chart explains the power of time. Look at the green one. Look at the orange one. This one. This one, you invest $100 for 30 years. So if you look, it is above the green one. Why? The green one is invest the same amount of money, but the same interest, but for different times. You invest for 30 years here, but here you invest for 20 years. Okay? And you apply the same things. So this is 30 years, this is 20. In this point is you invest for 30 years, in this point you invest for 25 years. So here is greater than here. This is why it's but in this green one is you invest your money $100, but in different rates and in different time value. So again, for the power of time, future value of original investment increase with time. So it is a function of time. So the value of money is increased with t, is a function with t. So the time, if increase the time, so then the money value increase. However, there will be no change in future value if the interest rate is 0. Because if you put interest is 0 here, So you have 1. So the present value is equal to the future value. When the interest is 0, it means the money today is equal to the money tomorrow. If everything equal, then no inflation rate, no investment, nothing, so you'll get the same amount of money. And this is not real. There is no zeros in investments. So power of rate of interest, an increase in rate of interest leads to an increase in future value. So if we invest in higher interest, so we will get higher payments. Okay? This is checkpoint 5.2. Calculate future value of a cash flow. You are put in charge of managing your firm's working capital. Your firm has $100,000 in extra cash on hand and decide to put in a saving account paying 7% interest compounded annual. How much will you have in your account in 10 years? Do it. Try to do it. بنات المرة الجاية جيبوا الكالكوليترز عشان to enjoy in calculating things.
اكيد بتسهل بسرعه.
ليش نقول نحذر؟ حليته؟ رقم كبير.
196,000
خلينا نشوف.
115.13.
So you have this time value for 10 years. رقم كبير بيطلع. So 196.7 something. Okay, and this is using the calculator. Okay, and in Excel we will do it. Okay, so this is the idea of doing this. Applications in other areas. Okay, we will stop here. Okay, نقف عند هذا الحد. واللقاء القادم بنكمل في الابليكيشنز. اوكي، يلا يعطيكم العافيه.